Hey, Internet, it's me, Dave Walker again. I'm here at the TV tour in California still, the Television Critics Association. A couple of weeks of previewing fall shows. And Ryan Berenz from Channel Guide and TV Weekly is my guest this time. Thanks very much for doing this.
Hey, my pleasure, man.
What is out there that's upcoming that we could tip the good people to, that you would watch even if you didn't have to?
Something even if I didn't have to.
If you were
that's the big question.
Right, if you were a civilian.
I love The People versus O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story. It's fascinating. It'll take you back to 1994 when you were watching the White Bronco. It's just brilliantly done all around.
And it is not a subject I don't really care to revisit. I felt like I was in the Bronco.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the first year I was a TV critic, and so I had to watch the whole trial and all of it, and then the coverage of the verdict. But I agree with you. I think this is really well done. I think it's going to be very compelling television, and I think a lot of people are going to watch it. So that's a good recommendation. Anything else?
Yeah, stuff I love. Baskets on FX. I love it. It was described as exuberantly stupid, and that's the type of stuff that I go for.
Yeah, and there's some good performances in that.
I like Love on Netflix. Also looking forward to that. That's Gillian Anderson. Excuse me, I get my Gillians confused. Do you?
I do.
Excuse me. Yes. Not Gillian Anderson. She was Gillian Anderson. She was here for the X-Files. But
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask. You're closer to the demographic that show is about than I am. What is it that's appealing to you about it? I can tell you what I like about it, but I'm sort of curious to know what the texture is there that's appealing to you.
Similarly, I loved Master of None on Netflix, and it was because I saw things that happened to me in those shows, things that I experienced. I found it relatable. There's obviously that's what a lot of people look for, something that they can identify with. I think it also, looking at those younger shows, takes me back to old days. It's giving me a little bit of nostalgia too for a time when I was going through those experiences.
Okay. What's else? Is that on your list, or is there more?
A little bit more on my list.
Okay.
Mr. Robot. I was not one of the people that originally got into Mr. Robot, and it was always sort of one of those on the back burner of I was going to get around to binge watching it someday. Now, after seeing this panel and seeing what Christian Slater had to say about it, and I'm going to push that forward.
I loved that show, and that was one of those shows that I would have watched even if I hadn't. And Rami Malek, who plays the lead, is just fabulous in that show.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
I just have a great Cuba Gooding Jr. story.
Oh, fire up! That's good.
Yeah. We were watching the Packers-Cardinals game out on the back, and we were watching the game with Cuba Gooding Jr. and he's rooting for the Cardinals because, well, he played an Arizona Cardinal and won an Oscar for playing an Arizona Cardinal.
That's right.
And when the Packers scored the Hail Mary at the end of the game, Cuba Gooding Jr. goes, "What the?" He was. I love him. He's now my favorite living actor. He was there like all night. He was there when I left, and I swear that when I got down there in the morning, he would be like asleep on the couch somewhere. So, Cuba, I love you.
That's one of those great TV tour moments. I kept seeing it on social media that it happened. We should say that he plays OJ in the FX series. Well, thanks so much for doing this.
Thanks, Dave.
How can people find your work?
Come to channelguidemag.com or come to channelguiderab on Twitter.
And okay. And do you have a personal Twitter or?
channelguiderab is my personal one. There's also Channel Guide at Channel Guide on Twitter for our magazine.
All right, good deal, folks. Check them out. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for doing this.